We'd like to welcome now Dave Ferguson, the growth coach, to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm real excited to be here today.
Thanks for coming on. Now, you hear a lot about growth coaches now, and it seems to be a trend, people seeking advice and counseling for their business or for their personal growth. So we're really excited to hear about it because it's fairly new to me. I don't know if you've ever worked with a growth coach before, but
yeah, it's a professional coach.
Well, my business is a business and life coaching firm. So we work with people's business and their life, whether it's a small company with one person running the whole show, or whether it's a larger company with management and people at all different levels. And the one thing that someone like me brings to the table in business and life coaching is I've run businesses, small businesses, I've been senior management in larger companies, and I also have a life. Now that life hasn't always been perfect, and I've rarely met anybody that has had a perfect life or will admit to not having one. We have some of those folks too, but we work on the wheel with people, okay? Everybody has a wheel of life, and there's all different spokes in it, and we all have different spokes. And we all want to go places in our life, and we all want to go places in our business. And what a coach does is help you build the plans to get where you want to go, because we all have gaps of where we are now and where we want to be, if we're dreamers, planners, and strategists. And really, that's what we help people do with their business and their life, and you can't do one and not the other.
Now, how did you get into this? How did you decide to go? Because you said you had all this business experience and...
Yeah, I grew up in small business, family business.
Okay.
And then I went to college and I went into corporate America, and I spent 21 years in banking, never in a branch, behind the scenes, traveled all over the country, part of the world. I was in international banking for a while, and I did really, really well. And I managed a lot of people, and I saw myself as a coach because I was one of the people known of hiring people that were better than me. But I could manage them, and I could lead them down the road, and I'd get them to places, and I'd get them promoted. And I had a really, really good job if you looked from the outside. Because, you know, I had everything. I made a lot of money, had the cars, had the boats, had all that stuff, houses. But probably the last 5 years of doing it, I was miserable. My life deteriorated, my health deteriorated, relationships deteriorated, and I wasn't as effective at work anymore. So it was a perfect time for me to leave. They were still paying bankers to leave. So I got out, and it was real easy for me to decide what to do because my passion is helping people get where they want to go. And it was real easy to do it. And I transitioned into it fairly quickly. I traveled a little bit in between, got a little more coaching education, and then dove right into it.
And talk a little bit about how you work with somebody, because I think one of the benefits of the coach is it helps you sit down and focus on that plan and take the time out to do it, because we're all kind of churning on our little hamster wheels every day and don't really take the time to take a step back and make those priorities and then actually follow through on them.
And measure, yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like, you know, if you read anything I write about New Year's resolutions, usually in December, and people make New Year's resolutions.
And by now usually, they can't remember what they were.
By now, actually by the end of January usually. I mean, such a small percentage of people carry them on. It's the same thing with goals. What I'm amazed at is that I'll ask people, show me your plan. Show me your business plan. Show me your marketing plan. And they'll say, well, it's up here. Well, I mean, we cannot remember everything. And we're very visible as people, right? So we need to see things. I don't build these elaborate business plans with people, okay? I don't. We whiteboard things and we plan together. I don't tell them what to do. I ask them what they want to do and give them my advice on how to develop the plan. And then simply, I hold them accountable to executing it because I'm a coach. So picture a football field and picture I'm a football coach. As a football coach, I can't get on the field or they'll throw a red flag, okay, or a yellow flag. And so it's the same in this world. I can help them build the plan. I can help them strategize. I can help them get down the field. But they have really got to execute to get in the end zone, okay? And people tend to not plan, kind of let things happen. Even, especially these days with the economy, everybody's kind of waiting for it to come back. Instead of, I believe, we've got to take pro-action and move forward in our own businesses and our own lives and not wait for things to happen.
Do you have some examples of how you've helped some of your clients, or what are some of the case studies that you have?
Absolutely, and I work with people, all different businesses. I could be in a bank this morning and then working in a racing adventure this afternoon. So it's all over the map. I'll give you a couple of examples. I work with with a racing adventure. So you can go to a track and you can actually be the NASCAR driver that day. Okay? And it's real fun. I love it. I'm an adventurous person, so it was a natural fit for me. But we've done some things with them, just with me taking blinders off the CEO. Okay? Because once he's been doing it a while, he doesn't really see the outside that well. And I look in at the business with him. He didn't need me in some of the ways some other folks need me. He's very planned, strategic. He plans, he strategizes, and he really can execute. He needed someone to help him grow the business. So I've helped him grow the business in a number of different ways. I've gone to the track and changed some things at the track so that when people got out of the car, they wanted to come back again. Okay, I've actually put on some of the uniforms and worked with them, with the people at the track. So I got a good feeling of the process, so I could help him improve the process. Back at the main office, we talk about his dreams. We're talking about other adventures. So we're growing the business that way. If I go to another company, it's a manufacturing company. It's a hosiery company. Okay? And so I've never been in manufacturing, but I don't have to be in manufacturing because I don't get involved in making the hosiery products, the socks. They really specialize in children and in athletic socks. Okay, it's a tough market for them. They have a lot of competition from out of the country. Okay, so, but they're also known for some of their socks, and people are willing to buy those socks and pay a little more for them. You know, they go into stores like Target and Walmart and some of the sporting goods stores and stuff like that. You can find their socks. With them, the CEO was new to being a CEO. It's a 70-year-old business. Brand new first-time CEO. With her, I have actually worked with her to develop her into a CEO. And it's amazing. She just wrote me a letter about a week ago, and she listed to me I didn't even ask her to write it. It's a great testimonial. She sent me an email and wrote all of these things that she has become in a year and a half. And it's changed her. And it's changed their company. It's changed their outlook and the folks around.
Probably helping them visualize what they want to become.
Absolutely.
And you're helping get that down on paper and
help them believe they can do it.
Yeah, and believe they can do it and encourage it. Just like you said, it's a perfect example being a coach on the sidelines, and you're helping that player visualize getting to the end zone. And
do you have a process to help people with figuring out their priorities? Because I think a lot of people are struggling not just with their professional goals, but also with how to balance everything in their personal life. I mean, we've all been pulled in lots of different ways. How do you set those priorities, or how do you guide people through that process?
That's a great question, because I was with a client yesterday who's fairly new. I'm only in with about a month. We've met I think yesterday was the 4th time we met one-on-one. It's a one-on-one client, and I usually meet him for about 2 hours each time. So we were starting our 7th and 8th hour yesterday, and he said, before we start, he goes, "This is driving me crazy." He goes, "It's so exciting. We've talked about so many things of where I want to go, but it's just driving me crazy, the excitement and all that." So I said to him, I go, "Okay, today here's what we're going to do. Today we're going to focus on what you want to happen the soonest, okay? And we're going to work backwards, okay?" So I was able to real quickly get him to focus on what I thought and what he thought really need to happen sooner, okay? And so it's not it's a unique process for everybody. I very rarely take something off the shelf. Because when I meet with people, I establish their needs, and we all have different needs.
Right.
Okay? And then I come back to them and they say, "Here's what I suggest we do." Okay? It doesn't mean I suggest we work on specific things in your business. That's for you to say. Okay? But here's what I suggest we do.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of different things that people can benefit from, and it's definitely an individualized process, so it probably makes sense for people who are interested in learning more to get directly in touch with you. So if you want to throw out your website link, or the easiest way to get in touch with you?
The easiest way to get in touch with me is dave.ferguson@thegrowthcoach.com.
Okay.
My website is www.thegrowthcoach.com/dferguson2.
You also write some great articles as well. You're writing for...
Thank you.
Who did you write for recently? Because you sent over some that
I write for
informative.
several newspapers.
Okay.
I write one column, and it goes to several newspapers each week. Most of the papers are Sunday papers, but some midweek. And it's been a great way for me to educate the public on coaching, but also I talk about a slew of different business topics. And it is, in essence, it's free information for people.
Right.
Okay? And I get calls and emails all the time of people that pull them out. They'll rip them out and they'll use them in their meetings, or they'll use them personally. And that's really a feel-good, because it's difficult to sit down every week and write a column for a newspaper when you're not really a writer. So it's exciting. It's a great way to get my company out in the market,
Right.
but it's also a great way to give back.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's really informative and it's very enjoyable to hear about what growth coaches do.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks, Jay.